Eren Yeager started his journey as a headstrong, reckless boy who seemed to be more of a talker and less of a doer. He would say stuff about killing everyone with his bare hands and crushing them. However, it was impossible to see how someone within his range would do that to Titans, and yet Eren managed to do so. The only problem, however, would be the level of collateral damage it took to get here. And yet Eren managed to get his hands on the most dangerous power there existed, but intentionally handicapped himself so that he could be killed. In today's video, we will discuss some of the unique and special features of his ridiculously powerful final form. Before we get to the heart of the topic, do like and subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with our videos. Eren is the first and only person to use the Founder's powers without royal blood. Historically, the Founding Titan has only been wielded by the members of the Fritz family, while Ymir has access to all of her subjects via the paths. Her direct descendants or the Fritz family are the only ones who can gain access to Ymir after inheriting the Founding Titan. This royal blood allows them to utilize all of Ymir's abilities as the coordinate. If the Founding Titan is inherited by a subject of Ymir who is not of royal blood, they will not be able to use her powers. However, Karl Fritz's vow of peace chained the future inheritors of the Founding Titan within the Fritz family to his will, which not only manifested as them falling prey to the 145th King's pacifist ideologies, despite how they used to be before inheriting the Founding Titan, but it also physically shackled them in the Path's realm. This created a situation where no one in the world could use the Founder's true abilities and subsequently caused the rumbling. For this reason, the Founding Titan had to fall into the hands of one of Ymir's subjects, who was not of royal blood. The first summoned subject to gain the Founding Titan was Grisha Yeager. After he defeated Frieda Reese in his attack Titan form and consumed her, he then passed both of his Titans down to Eren Yeager, who was only able to use the attack Titan up until the final episode of Season 2. When he came into physical contact with Dina Fritz's Smiling Titan, he temporarily gained access to the coordinate due to her being of royal blood, which allowed him to save himself, Mikasa, and the rest of the Survey Corps by controlling the pure Titans in his vicinity. In Season 3, coming into physical contact with Historia, who was of royal blood but not a Titan, allowed him to gain access to the memories of her sister Frieda Reese, who wielded the Founding Titan before Eren. For him to get complete control over the power of Ymir Fritz, he had to come into contact with Zeke, who was a Titan shifter and of royal blood. It was not until Zeke captured his severed head that Eren finally arrived in the Path's realm. After a tug-of-war between the two brothers over gaining the power of the Founder, Eren finally got to use the absolute powers of Ymir to start the rumbling. This meant that his coming into contact with a shifter of royal blood allowed him to enter the Paths, and this not being chained by Karl Fritz's vow allowed him to be free in the realm. Not only does this make the situation one of a kind, but it also makes Eren unique as he does the impossible. Eren's Founding Titan is the biggest Founding Titan in history. Being huge is a prerequisite for being a Titan. It is in the name, after all, but some Titans are significantly larger than the others. For example, the Wall Titans are around 50 meters, the Colossal Titan Shifters are 60, and Rod Reese's Abnormal Titan is a whopping 120 meters tall, and yet they all pale in comparison to Eren's final Founding Titan form, which dwarfs all the Wall Titans. We have seen Ymir Fritz, Frieda Reese, and to some extent Yuri Reese's Founding Titan forms, but they are similar to the Attack Titan in size. Ymir's is as big as a battlefield in one of the manga panels, but we think its scaling will rough out around Rod's Titan at most. Eren's Titan, however, is easily over 300 meters tall, judging by how short the Wall Titans look in comparison. But what really makes it so huge is not its height, but its length. The Titan has been speculated to be as big as Shiganshina, which is insane because Shiganshina is an entire district. Naturally, the Titans that appeared from the past during the battle looked below average in size when compared to Eren. Eren's Titan was also so omnipotent at that point that he could turn into any Titan himself. Kind of. We witnessed that when he fought Armin's Colossal Titan as a Colossal Titan despite never having consumed a shifter of the said Titan. So not only is Eren's final form the largest Founding Titan in history, but it is the largest Titan in history. Eren is the only Founder to have two more Titan powers within himself. Eren started off with the powers of not just one Titan, but two, since he ate his father and acquired a Founding Titan that Grisha took from Frieda, and the Attack Titan he had gotten from Kruger. Almost every other Titan shifter we see throughout the course of this story possesses the power of only one Titan, which sets the father-son Yeager duo apart. But even there, Eren is simply built differently and one-ups Grisha in Season 4, when he consumes Lara Tiber's Warhammer Titan. He needed the abilities of the Warhammer in order to stand a chance in battle while being attacked from several sources by several Titans, and at the same time he needed its ability to hide his main body wherever he desired during the Battle of Heaven and Earth. While Ymir could have utilized these abilities for herself as a founder, we don't think she did because, well, the 9 shifters didn't exist in her time. At best, she could have manifested the prototype abilities, which would then go on to become refined by the 9, so Eren directly possessing the abilities of 3 distinct Titans makes him very different from Ymir as a shifter. Eren's founder is the closest to the source of all things and appearance of all Titans. Back when Ymir acquired the power of the Titans for the very first time, a strange organism attached itself to her spine, which resulted in the manifestation of the Titan powers, known as the hallucigenia by fans and the source of all living matter in the canon. The creature looked like an isolated spine itself. You could also say that it looked like a headless worm, a ribcage, or for the easiest explanation, a fishbone. The first time we saw Ymir's founding Titan, she had an open ribcage in her Titan form, which was reminiscent of the structure of the source. It only makes sense since the creature is where the Titan powers originated from, so the founding Titan having it is no coincidence. However, Ymir's form was the way it was because of Ymir's personality or lack thereof, which resulted in her Titan form not having a face due to her identity being underdeveloped. If she wanted a grander Titan body, she could have made it. On the other side, Eren did not have the same problem. Ymir was a slave, but Eren wanted freedom. It's unfortunate that he himself never got the necessary freedom, but he did lead his loved ones to it. Point being, Eren's personality was in many ways an antithesis to that of Ymir's. That is probably why Eren maxed out what his Titan form should look like after acquiring complete control over Ymir's powers. There is also the fact that before Eren's transformation, he was shot by Gabi. His head got detached from his body, but the spine was intact and connected to his head, which created a unique situation where Eren's Titan body was formed when he did not have a regular body but just a head and a spine. We see this in his Titan form where he does not have a body made of flesh like the average Titan shifter, and instead has a spine that branches out into something akin to a massive ribcage and his head, just like the source of all things. Eren's founder controls rare swimming Titans that can level cities in minutes. We have mostly seen Titans walk, run, crawl, jump, and fight. This makes sense considering how the first 3 seasons of Attack on Titan took place in a sheltered world that was unaware of the existence of limitless water bodies like the oceans. By the time the rumbling took place, however, the residents of Paradise Island had learned about the existence of the world side. Many from the military had witnessed the oceans with their eyes and traveled across it to get to Marley. The world map in Attack on Titan is also very similar to the real world map. The only difference is that it is flipped, in the sense that the fictional equivalent of Australia would be in the northern hemisphere on the east, whereas Canada would be in the southern hemisphere on the west. This also means that several countries and continents are separated by the seas because they are not connected by land, unlike Eurasia. For Eren to kill every single person or even 80% of the population, the Wall Titans have to cross the seas. Miraculously, they did manage to do it, as we witnessed the Wall Titans swim while heading towards Marley. As the coordinates, Eren had absolute control over the anatomies of the Titans, and that was probably how he could make them swim. What makes this even more interesting is that the Wall Titans are colossal Titans that let out steam and are 50 meters and not deformed pure Titan. The number are incomprehensible as well, which makes Eren nigh invincible in front of any army across the world. Eren can communicate with every subject of Ymir in the world. As the coordinate, Eren can address all subjects of Ymir because he literally has every ability that Ymir does. Ironically enough, this also means that Ymir's founder in its time could not do the same thing simply because there was not that many subjects of Ymir to speak of. Historically, the wielders of the founding Titan have utilized this power and lost their access to it after Karl Fritz made his vow of peace. After Eren acquired the necessary powers to undo all the hardening in the world, he needed to make an announcement to all subjects of Ymir. He also had to let his friends indirectly know that they had to stop him. The moment Eren did so, every subject across the world found themselves in the Path's realm, collectively listening to Eren's message while being unable to move. Even Mikasa and Levi, despite being Ackermans, were frozen. The only person who could move on her own accord was Historia. Eren's founder could kill every Eldian in existence in a second, although not all Eldians are subjects of Ymir since the former is an ethnicity and a nationality while the latter is more of a race. By the time the events of Attack on Titan began, almost every Eldian was a subject of Ymir. The two terms were interchangeable by this point, which meant that any Eldian who had complete access to the powers of the founder could instantly annihilate the entire race at once. As they coordinate and with the powers of the founder, Eren had gained the powers to alter the entire anatomies of the subjects of Ymir, which is why Zeke's plan to make Eldians incapable of reproduction existed in the first place. His personal decision to not do so and allow his friends to keep their freedom led to them realizing that Eren wanted to be stopped by them. If he wanted, he would have easily killed them all in a second, unlike Ymir, who was powerless to do so from a personality standpoint. Eren's founder is the only founder that can summon titans from across history. As the final battle reached its peak, Eren kept the Alliance engaged by bringing forth several titan shifters from the past. With access to the timelines and paths, Eren was able to summon all the titan shifters across history in their titan forms. It has been theorized that they had the souls of their shifters, which is not improbable, since many of the shifters were trying to cooperate with the Alliance, irrespective of Eren's will at the moment. Prior to Eren, we have never seen other titans or founding titans summon those from the past, so this was unique to Eren. Eren transcends all space and time as the founding titan, becoming godlike. From what we see, the paths give access to space at first, being the coordinate. Eren acquired that. However, another weird thing about the realm was not just the slow movement of the paths, but the existence of alternative realities across this space and time. These alternate realities would have existed as a result of different choices made by the series' characters. Because of this, Eren was able to travel through the memories of the attack titan in every single reality, influencing the actions of everyone to help them reach the unskippable conclusion of the rumbling, and by extension, helping himself end the cycle of titan destruction. It's pretty similar to Paul Atreides from the Dune novels, if you ask us, but tell us what you think in the comments below. Eren created an alternate timeline with his founder for Mikasa. One of the timelines created was born from Mikasa confessing her romantic feelings to Eren. He always loved her, but due to his age, his jealousy towards Mikasa's strength and life in general, he spent a good portion of his life not knowing that he was in love with her. Had she confessed her love to him, Eren would have run away to a cabin in the mountains with her, where they would live together for 4 years until Eren passed away due to Eren's 13-year curse. As an Ackerman, Mikasa could retain the memories of her life in this timeline, but she was constantly prevented by future Eren from getting back, which became one of the major causes of her intense headaches. In this alternate timeline, Eren not causing the rumbling led to Marley finally coming and thwarting everything within the walls, and things would have gone horribly in almost every situation had Eren not been dedicated to causing the rumbling. Eren could have kept the rumbling going had he not had a change of heart. Now, one thing about Eren is that he had always boasted a mean streak of violence, whether anyone likes it or not. He has expressed his desire to kill every single titan with his bare hands. He did something similar to the humans in the rumbling. In conclusion, Eren never changed to cause the rumbling because it aligned with his internal desires and lust for violence. However, Eren needed his friends to stop him so that Eldians could become heroes in the eyes of the world and get better reputations among the common public so that they could avoid rampant discrimination and hatred. However, during his final dialogue with Armin, he confessed that he would have killed every single person except those in Paradis had he not been stopped, just for the sake of it, up until he was beheaded by Mikasa following the destruction of the Source, which brought an end to the power of the Titans and Eren's connection to it. He could have done absolutely anything. However, his not doing so had nothing to do with his limitations and everything to do with the choice he made for his friend. Marvelous verdict. What are your thoughts on Eren's final form as the attacking founding titan? Do you want to see more of Attack on Titan videos? Let us know in the comments down below, and until then, have a fantastic day.